What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Broth, and I'm your host, Austin Ariano, and today we're going to be talking about Peacemaker, Season 1, Episode 5, Monkey Dory. I'm going to go ahead and rewatch the episode, and then we'll dive right into the broth. Alright, so I just got back from the rewatch, and just like I remember, there's a lot going on in this episode. So the episode was broken down mainly into an A and B plot story structure, but there was also a little bit of a C storyline peeking its head through the back. So the A storyline was definitely Peacemaker infiltrating the Glentie facility with the rest of the team. And we figured out a little bit more about the butterflies, and we figured out about the food production and kind of a little bit how that works. The B story was Detective Song and trying to figure out about Augusta Smith's fingerprints at the crime scene, which he claims are not his. And also, we had a little bit of that C story peeking its head through the back, which was the big reveal of the last episode that Myrna is in fact a butterfly. So, starting out the A storyline, we had a Peacemaker dealing with everything that happened at the end of last episode, where he was drinking, getting a little high, really dealing with the guilt and remorse of losing his brother, dealing with the way he grew up, the way his father raised him. And in the scene, you see Eagly fly out and bring Peacemaker back a little bit of a treat, a little gift, a little something to chow on. And it's always funny whenever they show Eagly because I feel like that's showing a piece of who Chris Smith is, who Peacemaker actually is, and a little bit more of his gentle side. I think that's what Eagly usually represents, is the gentle side of him. And as that progresses, we see a little bit of the layers of Peacemaker falling off as we get to know his pet. And right after that scene, we have a scene with Adebayo where she's leaving her house. She seems a little frantic, a little manic, a little stressed out. And then we have her wife, Kia, kind of trying to cope with her. And Kia even mentions, hey, it feels like you're choosing this job. And it definitely does feel that way. It feels like Adebayo's caught somewhere between this job and her personal life, and she's having a hard time balancing it. And right after this scene, Adebayo heads towards the base where she meets with the rest of the crew, and Myrn is breaking down a new mission objective for the crew where they're going to break into this Glentie facility and find out a little bit more about this food source for the butterflies. And while he's breaking this down, we have some playful, funny banter between Vigilante and Peacemaker. Peacemaker is bringing up a poop fetish Superman might have, and it's really just playful and fun until we get a little bit more of Economist and Peacemaker, and Peacemaker really freaks out on Economist and lets him know that it wasn't cool that he set up his dad. And we also have a little bit what seems like improv from John Cena, where he's just naming off names, shouting everyone who he could have thrown under the bus, who Economist could have thrown under the bus before his father, Augustus Smith. So I just thought that was really fun. You really get to see the acting bars of John Cena in this show, which I don't think you get to see much in other shows. And it really helps me appreciate John Cena a lot more than I have in the past. And that's another huge respect I have for the show and the writing for James Gunn in general. I think he really writes for Peacemaker really well. And I think he makes it easy for John Cena to put on a great performance. And it's really fun to watch. So a little bit after Myrn kind of breaks down this new mission objective, we have some more banter between Adebayo, Peacemaker, and Vigilante, where Adebayo really gets on Peacemaker about the way he is treating Economist, making fun of him, calling him diebeard, making fun of the PowerPoint, just really being hard on him, acting like he's a nerd, treating him like the outlier. And that's where Vigilante kind of chimes in and is like, that's just the way Peacemaker is. He's always been this way. He used to call me Thimble, you know? He used to make fun of me all the time. And I think that was a cool way of showing the connection that Peacemaker and Vigilante have. It kind of goes beyond this crime fighting thing, goes beyond being superheroes. they knew each other before this, and I think that's a cool way to draw those connections. Shortly after, we see the crew headed towards the Ty Glenn facility, where they're on the truck and Peacemaker's rocking out, and it feels like John Cena's doing some more improv, which I really enjoy. Harcourt kind of kills it immediately, like, no, not vibing it at all. And then we have Economist bringing up music and trying to connect with Peacemaker about the 11th Street Kids, which is a song from a band that Peacemaker really enjoys. And it feels like they're kind of drawing connections between Peacemaker and Economist, which feels nice, especially after what Adebayo just said. Well, and then they get to this facility where Vigilante pulls out this chainsaw. He wants to kill someone with a chainsaw. Never had the chance to do it before, and Harcourt just turns him down. Like, no, we're not going to do that. So they end up breaking up into groups. We've got Vigilante with Harcourt, and then we got Adebayo and Peacemaker together. Adebayo and Peacemaker go in together. She's asking him if he's going to be chill. He's like, oh, yeah, I got this. I'm going to be chill. And immediately, right when he goes into the building, he sees the chick. How can I help you, she asks. Bam! He blows her brains out. And he kind of Adebayo freaking out. And little did you know, he has this new X-ray helmet, which is one of the helmets that his father gave to him before, or one of the helmets that his father had made. And immediately she's like, dude, I thought you were going to be chill, you know? And Peacemaker, being the way that he is, he's like, of course I'm chill. Kind of stoic, you know? And then we also have Vigilante and Harcourt, who draw the attention of some butterflies as they see the food production. They end up locking themselves in a room, which ends up having an ape butterfly inside of it. And little did I know, they actually referred to this ape, whose name is Charlie, in the last episode. In the 4th episode, they referred to Charlie and that he got out of the zoo somehow. So that was some more foreshadowing that James Gunn was able to do, which gave away a little bit of what was going to happen, you know, beforehand. And I think that was some good writing techniques. You know, it was kind of simple, but it was still well done. And I really enjoyed that as well. So Harcourt and Vigilante are stuck in this room, and they call Adebayo over, and her and Peacemaker end up making their way over there as fast as they can. Peacemaker throws this makeshift grenade type of bomb he made at this group of butterflies, and it puts him and Adebayo actually in danger. And I feel like Adebayo kind of realizes that he can be reckless at times, you know, especially after he blew brains out with that shotgun that he just used without really letting her know beforehand. So he's gotten a little reckless this episode for sure, and I think she sees the dangers of that. So they end up breaking into this room where this ape is attacking Harcourt and Vigilante. Everyone's kind of getting thrown around. It's really hectic, and you know, even Peacemaker's having a rough time. I mean, it's a huge ape, and he's just throwing Peacemaker around. And at the very last second, where it seems like Peacemaker won't stand a chance, you hear a chainsaw. And you're thinking maybe Vigilante, but nope. It was Economist. Economist came and saved the day. His back was kind of against the wall. He knew the crew was in there with the ape, and he overcame some of his fears, and he protected the team. And even Peacemaker says, "You are a stud. You are a stud." And I feel like that kind of brings the whole episode main arc to a close, because I feel like it was really about Peacemaker and Economist. It was a huge cornerstone of the episode, and I think it was done really, really well. So right when they get done with the ape, they're back in the truck, and you hear the 11th Street Kids playing again, and they're all singing together. They're all letting loose, having a good time. And even Harcourt, who before was killing the music, she's actually in the corner taking a picture of the crew having a good time. And I think all that was really awesome. I think it was really well done. And later on, you see the whole crew kind of going back and forth over the group message. And it's a really heartfelt scene that makes you the viewer, feel like you're part of the crew. And I think that's an awesome feeling. And you really couldn't ask for more than feeling like you're a part of these characters in their inner working relationships. So that was the main A story. And now kind of for the B story. The B story was about Detective Song and trying to figure out the fingerprints for Augustus. I feel like this main plot, and the reason I bring it up is because it was a huge reveal for Song, and the fact that she really does care about the law. She cares about justice. Because this guy who's a possible racist, a possible Nazi, he didn't do this crime. And even though it worked in her best favor, she's willing to find out the truth, possibly to her own detriment. And I think that's really revealing for her. And I think it was a really good arc, even though it was just a small B story plot. It's going to play a much bigger role, I think, in the White Dragon and the way everything's going to play out in the rest of the show. So, coming to the end of the show, still kind of back to that A plot, we got Peacemaker and Adebayo, and Peacemaker asked her to come in, and I think that kind of solidifies that it's not weird between them. She's kind of acting like, oh, you're going to try to get with me, and I think it's solidifying that Peacemaker sees her as a friend. And even more so when they're in his trailer and they're having a conversation, they're talking about his feelings for Hardcore, and she's really just giving him advice and having his back, and he says it. I've never had this. I've never really had someone who has my back like this. And I think any of us who've been through rough times, who kind of feel alone, can connect to that. And it was a really good, heartfelt scene. And in that same scene, we have Adebayo setting him up, it looks like, with this journal that's supposed to be listening to her mom, Amanda Waller, that's really put her in this compromising state. And with everything going on with her, this affects her negatively, where she's turning her back on Peacemaker, where it feels like they have a genuine friendship, and she's kind of betraying that right off the bat. And like he said, he's never had anything like that. So that was really heartfelt and real to me to see that between them. And, I'm kind of sad to see how that's going to break down and how that's going to end up. So now to the final C plot. The final C plot was the end reveal of last episode with Mr. Myrn, where we find out that he's a butterfly. So as Adebayo is leaving Peacemaker's, she calls up her wife and says how stressed she is, and she's heading towards Myrn. She goes to the base, and she finds Peacemaker's X-ray helmet, the helmet he used to find butterflies in this episode. And she's kind of walking around with it. She's peeping the scene. And then that's when she sees Myrn and notices the butterfly. And that heads into this week's kind of finale, this week's kind of cliffhanger, where she's running away from Myrn and he's after her. So we're going to kind of see how that ends up and where that's going to lead into the next episodes. And I think it's... Hopefully, I really enjoy Myrn's character, so I don't think they're going to make him evil, but I guess we'll see. Speculate in the comments, and let me know what you guys think, what might happen with that next episode. And let me know what you guys think of Peacemaker overall. Alright, so that was the first episode of The Broth. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here at The Broth, we're going to be dedicated towards storytelling, analytical reviews of stories, and really trying to find the deeper purpose of what the writers were trying to tell us. So if you guys enjoy it, hit me back up, and hope you guys all have a great, safe night. Much love, everybody. Enjoy that next episode of Peacemaker. I know I will.